They didn't change a single ID number. They didn't add a single control. The spirit of every control stayed the same, and they didn't change the implementation groups. So the same old CIS, but then you dig a little bit deeper, and they did some really cool stuff that, in
They
addition
did.
for a few years. CJ, I think you may because of what you've been doing with the Trustmark, you're probably on the detail side more knowledgeable of this than I do. But the thing that I got really excited about was the new asset classes. What are the things that you encountered there?
So it's funny you say the asset classes. So one of the things that we had when building the Trustmark was this futuristic hope that was partially tied to what we knew was going to happen with NIST CSF version 2, where they were adding in governance. And we're like, the Trustmark was built, and one of the things that was missing out of the frameworks that we wanted to use out of the gate was we used CIS top 18 was really the core foundation, and it didn't have governance in the traditional sense of like how to go about doing this. So I think that at the high level, when we look today at what took place with CIS top 18 version 8.1 is uh, context, coexistence, and consistency that were added into the equation that really, I think, bring to light the pieces that were missing. So you have it brought up on the screen, but one of the pieces that is not in this asset class is the documentation, right? Like this is the old one,
Oh
correct?
yeah, we have I got it right here, man. And they expanded out a lot of the verbiage first of all.
They
But
did, but we say this a lot. We say this literally all the time. Like, if you see the language in the safeguard that says something to the existence of like you need to have a program or a plan or to right, those are good indicators that it's implying that there's documentation, and documentation is one of the new asset classes, right, under governance.
yeah. So they added documentation as as a security asset. Like this is part of your
Right,
security. This is a
right.
company. It's a thing in the company that's worth value, right? That you can theoretically you could put a dollar amount on, but more importantly, it's something you need to keep track of. It's part of your security sphere, right?
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, and to add some clarity, so the context part, I think the easiest takeaway was that they're talking about to provide greater detail. Like, so the frameworks that are out there when it comes to CIS, they're not islands, right? So CIS is notorious for like how they built the framework to begin with was looking at other frameworks. They weren't just, building this and saying, we don't care what else is out there. We're going to build this in a vacuum and people will recognize and apply it. And version 8.1, I think with the wait time that we had from version 8 to 8.1 is largely tied to the timing of the release of NIST CSF version 2. And the results of NIST CSF version 2 and being released sort of triggered the okay, now is the time to release this to help with that context component because prescriptive nature of most frameworks is not very great. It's not great. So the addition of greater detail, because of course we covered that one, and the practicality and the clarity of what's in there. Like, what does this mean to my organization? And I think we're seeing that the recognition already of like what's sort of the precursor to version 9. We're not that far away, I think, from what they know needs to come out in version 9 based on just what we've seen in here. Governance, I think, is going to play a I don't want to say it's going to play a bigger role. I'd hate to put
well, they
words in.
they
Yeah,
labeled
go
them
ahead.
all these governance safeguards, right? Which
Yes.
they didn't have governance safeguards before, right?